I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the earbuds, but I swear when I don't use them, all you hear is shh. Hey everyone, it's Amanda Johnson back with another Thoughtful Thursday. This week, I want to talk with you a little bit about a tool that has been really helpful for me and that I have been using recently with some clients, and I think it's been giving them a lot of value. So, this tool, because I want to say that I'm wanting to think more of, again, how can I really be of service in the world? And how can I be of most value to my viewers, you, and to those I am in contact with? And so I really wanted to think of a fairly practical tool that has been useful in my life and the lives of many others to offer to you today. So, this tool is when that voice in your head or those voices in your head start getting a little out of control. And we all have them. We all hear those different parts of ourselves showing up at different times. And sometimes it's all too easy to either get caught up with them or to want to dismiss them altogether. But this has been really helpful for me, and I think it will also be really helpful for you. So the first thing we want to do is we want to acknowledge, who is that part of ourselves? What is that voice? Give it a name, label it. Is it your ego? Is it your inner child? Is it your angry teenager? Is it your critic? Who is it who is saying these things that you seem to just not either be able to ignore or that you really don't want to listen to? And then once you've labeled it or identified it, I want you to talk to it. I want you to have a relationship with it, acknowledge it, because ultimately that voice, that part of you, wants to be heard, and it's going to do everything in its power to be heard, and it really ultimately is trying to most likely keep you safe or protect you in some way. So label it, give it a name, and then I want you to talk to it. I want you to ask it, what do you want me to know? What are you trying to say to me? And really empathetically, compassionately listen to it. Now, one way you can do this, you can have a friend ask you, you can speak this out loud to your friend if you have someone you feel comfortable doing that with. You could also voice record yourself so you can really hear this voice of you sharing what it needs to share. Or if you much prefer writing, I would just sit down at your journal or at your computer. Again, really channel this voice, get in touch with it, and then speak as if it were speaking. And find out what it has to say, what it wants you to know. The next step to this is to then invite in the other part of yourself. That voice in your head that often says, it's okay, you're fine, it's going to be all right. That part of you, whatever you call it, is it your higher self? Is it your wise woman or your wise man? Who is that part? Label it, give it a name, and then ask it what it has to say. What does it want you to know? What does it have to say in response to this other voice of yours? Let it have a dialogue with it. And I think by doing this, you're going to start to notice, that these parts of yourself, while there, are maybe not as powerful as you once led on to believe. And also by giving them acknowledgement, by letting them speak their truth and their mind, you can also then respond. You can give it whatever it needs. Maybe it needs some reassurance. Maybe it needs to have a hug. Maybe it needs to just be heard. And so through asking it what it needs, you can actually honor it. And you'll see that it doesn't need to scream quite so loudly the next time. So I invite you to do this. I'd love to hear how it goes if you give it a try. So leave a comment in the below this blog or on my Facebook page. I'd also love to hear if you have any of your own favorite tools. What do you do with those voices in your head? Let's talk about what other options we have so that they don't rule our lives and they don't take over the way sometimes we allow them to. As always, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your week to watch my Thoughtful Thursdays and hear some of my musings. If you like the video, as always, I invite you to give it a thumbs up on Facebook or share it with a friend. And just stop on by. Let me know how these are resonating with you. And if there's anything that you want to know more about, please ask. Put it in the comments below. Put it on my Facebook page. I would love to start answering your questions more specifically. So let's do more of that too. Until next time, be here and be you.